All right, awesome. Let's recap what happened last night. Move this stuff around. All right, so last night, like I said, we saw that price came all the way up. Like I said, I told everybody, I said, let's just wait to see what happens if it comes up and touches the zone I drew out from all the way over here, right? Push it all the way out here. Came up, hit the zone perfectly. It dropped. Like I said, if you took that trade, you had the potential of around 138 pips. So anybody on here, did you guys make any money from that trade last night? All right, good. Everybody made money. That's good. I'm happy. We were able to maximize the profits, all that type of stuff. Make sure the stop losses, stop profits, trailing stops, everything is good to go. So with that being said, we're gonna get started on this whole thing. I want to be able to affect the masses. I want to be able to help everybody with the tutorials, everything that's going on. Like I said, we're gonna make sure that everybody is 100% good to go. Is there anybody that's on here that this is their first time into the live trade room? All right, cool. So we'll break everything down. You guys will see how the charts are set up. That way your charts are set up like this. If you guys decide that you guys want it this way, there's no right way to set up your charts. The reason why I pick these charts is more of a psychological aspect. I like everything bright. I like everything vibrant. I like everything that pop out. So it's a lot easier for me to tell the story, what's happening in the Forex markets. Now, like I say before, and every single time that we start these live trade rooms is the psychological aspect is the most important part of this whole thing. So it's very, very detrimental in the fact that you get our mindset right and we stay in a positive mentality, that we stay focused, we stay thankful because there's $5.3 trillion a day on the other side of these charts. That's the way I see it. What you mean? So when I look at these charts, I see the money that's within here, and based off our technical analysis, we're able to take these trades just like we did last night and be able to take your piece of the pie. I mean, this is all of our money. $5.3 trillion a day is very easy to help a lot of people have a lot of income. You know, help a lot of people become free. So with the psychological aspect, the one thing that we're going to go over is we're going to remove everything from the greed effect. We're going to remove everything from the fear of the market. So that way you feel more confident when you come onto these charts instead of coming on here feeling lost. The whole point of the live trade rooms is for us to come in here and to be able to become self-sufficient traders. From the people that's been in here for, the past week, do you guys feel that you guys are grasping a better concept when it comes to drawing these charts? All right, that's good. That makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm doing this live stream is pretty right. Cool. I just called forecast yesterday to see if there's any trades. I saw that it hit a zone because it hit a zone and active resistance. It was very easy to call out that trade. But it'll be pretty simple. We're gonna go through here, pretty much know everything. So for the psychological aspect, like I say, is the fact is don't ever come onto these charts with a negative mindset. Don't ever come to the charts with a greedy mindset. The thing is, you can zoom in and out. You can zoom out. You can zoom in. You can do all that type of stuff. But don't come onto these charts with a mindset of trying to chase this money. That's one thing that I realized. When I started focusing more on the profits instead of focusing more on the art, I started realizing that I was becoming very, very greedy. I wasn't closing out trades. I wasn't setting up trailing stops. I was being overly confident. Yes, it looks like a very possible head and shoulders. That's actually why I drew this zone right here. You got it. Awesome. All right. So here's the thing, guys. We're going to go over every single aspect: psychology, We're going to do a trading view tutorial for the news people that come in so that we could set up their charts. You know, that only takes like 5 minutes anyways. Then we're going to go over support and resistance, and we'll try it on different pairs and currencies. So that way you can see how all the charts are pretty much the same. It's just depending on how you draw your technical analysis. And then we'll go over zones, see the combination of both, how it's easy to confirm for trades. We'll go over trading, like when we enter the trades of stop loss, take profits, all that type of stuff with trailing stops to maximize your profits, how I twin trade so that way you could get the greed effect out of the way, all that type of stuff. I'm going to watch what it does here. If it respects here in this area as active resistance, and it's very possible this will drop. But remember, I wait for the confirmation. I wait for it to confirm pretty much. So let's see what happens. A lot could happen in 17 minutes in this 30-minute candle, and just we could wait and see. But also remember too, if there's zones within this area. I draw everything out in my 1 hour. I draw everything out in the 1 hour so that way I could be able to draw everything clear. That's just the way that I draw it up. There's no proper way of drawing things, whatever fits your perspective of everything. All right. I'm gonna go over all that. So let's not rush everything. Let's keep everything simple. Let's keep everything to the point where it's very, very organized. If I go into, if I just go like this, like, all right, guys, so support resistance, supply and demand zone, and then with price action, with double confirmations, all that type of stuff. You do some price action, like it's just gonna confuse people. So that's the reason why we go from the beginning, from the tutorial of all this type of stuff. So that way it's a lot easier for us to grasp this concept. We break everything down into pieces, and then we put the pieces together so you can see the full puzzle piece, right? So psychological aspect, like I said, don't come in here chasing money. We attract money. Come in here with a positive mindset. Go in here and remember there's an art behind this whole thing. Don't be greedy, right? Don't think that you're on top of the world just because a couple of trades go good. You have to realize that we actually respond to the markets based off principle, and we don't react to the markets based off emotions. Right? So the way to remove doubt, worry, and fear, because I know for a lot of people when you first start trading, it's going to be very hard to get into that mentality to kind of be fearless. But the thing is, the first thing we need to do is to emotionally detach ourselves from money. Realize that the money that you put in there, I know it sounds messed up, but act like it's whatever. Like that money will not hurt you if you lost it. You're saying, I'm not saying to lose all your money, but I'm just saying you have to have that mentality. And you have to have that mentality. You have to be emotionless when it comes to trading. If you're emotional when it comes to trading, you're going to see all these wicks were once candles. So this looked like it was dropping and then it went up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the emotional side of things could really mess somebody up. But if you have a double, triple confirmation that a certain trade is going to happen, that allows you to pretty much confirm that it's going to go down, or you could confirm on the fact that it's going to go up. And we're going to be able to go through all that because you guys are going to learn what these zones are. You're going to learn what these lines are and how to combine them together so you guys can make profits on a daily basis. And that's the main focus of this whole thing. I want you guys to be able to profit every single day. Please don't go too basic. Basic stuff is in the back office videos. All right, so even with IML Academy coming out, even with coming in here with the basics, support and resistance combined with supply and demand zone with price action is not too basic. We have to remember that we have to, like, everyone's been making money the past couple of live trade rooms, correct? There's a lot of people that are making some money in the past couple of live trade rooms. All right, so from the way that it's set up, even though we're going over the basics to the technicals and everything like that, how do you feel that it makes you learn? Do you feel that repetition is your reputation? Plus, we also have to respect the newest person. If you have the audacity to be able to share this value with others and the audacity to bring them onto this platform that's helping people become self-sufficient traders, we have to give them the full experience. And the thing is, it doesn't hurt to be able to see this over and over again. You don't think that I studied this over and over again? I studied it over and over again, and I draw it up over and over again to the point where it just becomes so habitual. I could go on some charts and start drawing these lines up. So we'll go over everything, but let's do a little quick tutorial of TradingView real quick so people can understand what this is. Yeah, I'm not neglecting the intermediate and advanced at all. I don't think I'm neglecting the intermediate and advanced in all reality. It's one thing to draw and then it's another to trade. Okay, so check this out. Yeah, I think we caught almost over 1,000 pips last week. We caught this buy right here coming up. So we caught this buy coming up, called this one. That's 712 pips. That was the potential, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this drawing right here was able to help people make around 712 pips. And maybe this drawing right here was to be able to help people make 150 pips. And then with Euro USD last week, you know, we're able to catch a lot. We caught this sell right here, which by drawing it up, we're able to catch around 160 pips. Oh yeah, also on GU right here, I remember right here, we also caught the sell because we drew it up. And then we also caught a potential of 446 pips. So I think that these are like the best drawings in the world. I think these drawings is going to help everybody make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because if you're able to put standard lots on this whole thing, you're able to, you know, make over $10,000 last week. So let's get going. All right, so we're gonna go over a little tutorial on TradingView so people kind of understand what this is. All right. So what TradingView is a platform that you could go on. It's a free, you could go on here, you could have a free account, and this is where you could pretty much pick currency pairs. So that way you could draw everything up. You could do analysis, all that type of stuff. And what I'll do is I'll show you by just deleting everything on here. And you could do everything from drawing lines. You could do everything from Fibonacci. You could do everything from drawing your zones, your boxes, all that type of stuff. Even if you wanted to do, you know, like harmonics and see if there's anything that you could do with harmonics. I'm not good at drawing harmonics, so it's whatever. But like I'm just saying, you could just draw it up here. You mean you could be able to measure pips, draw it up here. You can be able to change the time frames. I'll walk through everything so that way you guys can see it, right? So let's get an example right now. Right here on the top is the time frame so that you can see. You pick any of these. You pick 15 minutes. That means every single candle is a 15-minute candle. You pick 1 hour, which is where I draw everything at. Every single candle is a 1 hour candle, 30 minutes, self-explanatory, right? You have all your tools here. You can draw everything from horizontal lines to trend lines, rays. So if I wanted to draw a trend line, I could have drawn a trend line like right here. You know what I mean, you could draw these little lines up. You could change the colors. You could type stuff up. Everything. You could change up the candles if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you have options pretty much. So you can't execute trades off this platform. It's pretty much just to draw. What I do is I draw everything up. If I see setup, I execute trades off my phone, right? Hold up real quick. Why not do it on MT4? The reason being is because I like this platform because you could do a lot of stuff on here. It's more clear, it's more clean. You mean you could change the colors, all that type of stuff. I mean, it's just here. This is what I use. You know, you guys don't have to use this, but the thing is the same concept is on MT4. You could be able to draw everything up on there. TradingView is just a lot more clear. You could be able to zoom in, zoom out a lot faster. Plus, you can see things at higher time frames a lot more clear. As you can see, here's a 4 hour, right? Here's the daily. You're gonna start to see the bigger time frames at a better scale, right? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like when you first come onto TradingView, so that way you guys could be able to set up these trades, right? So you could be able to set up these trades and make it more clear, because I'm a firm believer that cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. So the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna delete everything. Actually, I'll leave that up just in case. We'll see what's up. We'll see what happens right now. Change this up. All right. Let me hit the chat real quick. All right, so I'm gonna go to properties real quick. I'm gonna put everything to default so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. So just in case you guys wanna change it up, you guys could change it up. Let me delete everything so it's clear. All right, when you first come onto TradingView and you pick a currency pair, what you're gonna notice is you're gonna see these little news events here, which is fine. You can see that this is pretty dark. You're also gonna see that there's vertical and horizontal grid lines, right? So there's different styles of trading, all that type of stuff, but we're gonna go into like how TradingView works. For the newest person, they'll go into support and resistance, into zones, see if there's any forecast for any trades. Yes, it looks like there's a head and shoulders about to form right here. We'll see what's up, right? We'll see what happens in the next 30 minutes or whatever. But yeah, this is what your charts look like right now. So what you wanna do is you wanna either right click this or double click with 2 fingers, hide the events that's on the charts. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the vertical and the horizontal grid lines and also change the colors of the candles. Now, as you can see that the colors are very dark, what I do is I just change it to the point where I see it's very bright. As you can see, it's a lot brighter, so it pops out more. For me, it's just a lot more vibrant. It allows me to really see what's gonna happen easier. You know, it's not one of those things where I'm just looking at it. But yeah, go to background, vertical grid lines, very self-explanatory. You see there's a vertical grid line right here. I click this, I move this transparency thing all the way to the right. As you can see, now it's gone. And you can see that there's vertical grid lines still. Go to horizontal grid lines, change this all the way here. All right, cool. Now you can press OK. Boom, you're able to see it. Now it's a lot more clean and it's a lot more clear. Now the second step of what we do is we want to be able to see what happens within every single day. It makes it a lot more clear. So go to properties, go to time zone sessions. If you wanted to change your time zone, you can. We could click session breaks right here. Now watch this. You click session breaks, it allows you to see it broken up into days. What that means is that each one of these little boxes in between each blue line represents one day. So right now, this was yesterday, and this is today, right? Just delete this. If this continues to respect, it's very easy than the fact that it could be dropping, just to keep an eye out on it. Let's wait for a confirmation. And it's very possible that if you're holding that trade anyways, you could profit, right? So we'll see what's up. We'll see if it starts dropping. As you can see right here, it did a double retest. Let's see what happens on the next 5 minutes if this starts dropping. That way, if that was a double retest, it's very easy that we could sell it. All right, so what I did was I just drew a zone here. For the people that have been trained for a while, that we could keep an eye on it. If this is creating head and shoulders, which means that this is the shoulder, this is the head, this is the shoulder. That's a very highly reversible pattern. So if it continues to respect, it already did a double retest to that resistance and in that zone. So it's very possible that this could be just dropping down. All right. So now we have the session breaks, all that type of stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to break down the technical side of things on how to really draw things up. And I'm going to do that on 2 different currency pairs so that way you guys can see. So in the beginning, what we'll do is we will literally draw everything up here. Support and resistance lines. These are these are imaginary lines where price is respecting, which means where price is bouncing off of, right? So as you can see how price came up here, yes, it did break through, but retrace and then test it again, which means that this act of resistance is very strong. Now what you could do is go to areas where price bounced, look 1, 2, like boom, just draw it. It's not always going to be perfect. As you can see, bounce came through a little bit, didn't break through it. That means this is respected. Looks like that it did break through here, but then came back up, which means that this line is respected. Now what happens is what you call this is, if this is on the bottom, very self-explanatory, support, aka the floor. And as you can see right now, it's an area where it's bouncing from the top. This is an act of resistance, which is like a ceiling. What that does, it helps us realize and see where areas where price is going to respect. I'm going to give an example of certain things that happen though. Watch. So at one point, check this out. This is what happens in the markets all the time. All right, look. So imagine that we're looking at price right now. This is what it looks like. What you have here is resistance, which is a ceiling, which is self-explanatory. And then you have right here, which is the floor. But what happens is price breaks down, bounces off here. Now this becomes support. And wherever this bounces up here becomes resistance, right? And as you can see here, that it broke through here, this became support. And this became resistance. So the thing is, in the markets, we're always going to have to adapt to it. We're always going to have to respond, right? So that way we could be able to draw these things up. Now, just based off these resistance and support lines, it's very, very crazy in how much profits that you can make, right? So say, for instance, this is now resistance, but over here, it will support. But all of a sudden, you see it drop, you see it bounce off here, tests is twice. Because it tests twice off this ceiling, that means it's a very respected area or respected line, or a price fails to break, right? And just by testing it twice, you have the potential of catching over 548 pips. It was a cool thing because we did sell it last week right here in this area, and we did have a potential of 475 pips. Awesome. So that's how resistance and support work. As you can see right now, an act of resistance is up here. There's no right way of drawing things, whatever works best for you and your perception, because that's the way the Forex market works. Some people draw things differently. Some people see things in different ways, but the beauty of trading view is the fact you could change colors. I mean, you could change which lines you want to use, all that type of stuff. So that way it just helps you what fits best for you. You're saying? Okay. If I did take the trade, I would have put an entry there, but I would have made sure I put in a stop loss, probably around here. All right. Anyways, that's support, that's resistance. You could practice this on multiple pairs. Right now, look at this right here. This is Euro USD. You could get an example, clean charts. Move this chat thing up here. If I took an imaginary line, put it right here, look, resistance, ceiling, 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 right? Yes, it did break above, but then it came back down. So respected this ceiling or resistance. As you can see here, there's an area of support. So now it's like, all right, there's an area of support where price tests failed to break, became resistance, came down, became resistance, became support, it's becoming support. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. For all the people that have been on here for a while or that have been doing the live trade rooms, as you can see here, there is a zone if you wanted to draw it. So now we can see what's gonna happen once it hits this area to see if it's going to respect or if it's going to break through. Does that make sense? This is just for people that know what's going on so that way they can see it. All right, so let's go back into the whole resistance support. So yeah, we could draw it anywhere. These are areas where price respected. There are areas where price failed to break always guesstimate a little bit so you can see how this area is all respected. And what's crazy is how I could put support here and go back in the time frames and see how it's respected here as resistance, resistance, how it's respected here as support, keep going back. You can see how it's resistance, resistance, support. So like these lines are very, very important. It pretty much gives you guidelines, gives you it gives you a sense of really seeing the bigger picture. Now, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I used to do with my charts before. I know a lot of people have seen this, but this is how my charts used to look like. I used to have this all drawn out everywhere. I'd have support and resistance lines, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just the fact is, for me as a person, as an individual, I just felt like this was too much. I just felt like having all this on my charts was just ridiculous. You mean, because it really cluttered my mind. You know what I mean? So the way that I would do that is I would just delete everything. And as you can see, that price is within what? Is within this area right here, right? So what I'll do, I'll find out areas where price is relevant, and I'll just draw resistance and support lines right here. So now what I'm gonna do is pretty much see what's happening within this area, right? And just being patient. Forex is a transfer of money from the impatient to the patient. Where does the money come from? Now you're trading currencies. You're trading money against money. You're capitalizing on the exchange rates. You're capitalizing on when price moves up and price moves down, right? So you're trading currency against currency. What's cool is the fact that a lot of this questions will be all figured out with the IMO Academy. In the IMO Academy, just so you guys get a little sneak peek, you're gonna know everything from what Forex is, to everything from the major currency pairs, to the hierarchy, to the bid, the ask, the spread, the pending orders, buy limits, buy stops, everything from leverage to margin to brokers, different types of brokers, etc. What is a pip? What is a micro pip? All that type of stuff. That'll all be there for you guys 100%. So that way you guys are good to go. That looks beautiful. That looks good. Looks really good. Like I said, if I did enter this trade, what I would have done, just so you guys know, we'll do a little class real quick on entering, right? So say for instance, you did enter the trade here, and then you put your stop loss here, something like that, right? Put your stop loss here. We'll see what happens in the next 10 minutes, but I'll type this up real quick. We'll knock this out of the way just in case if people did take this. Here's your entry. This was right here as what? Your stop loss, your risk management, your safety net. That makes sense? Entry and a stop loss, right? Oh, snap. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys. All right. Now what I'll do is the moment that I saw that this was at least 10 to 15 pips in profit or 10 to 20 pips in profit, I would change this to a stop profit. And the way that I'll do that is I'd wait, obviously, till this went down more. But then this would be a stop profit, or you could also call it a trailing stop. Now, the way that I get the greed, and I'm going past support resistance right now, but I just want to do that just in case people enter this out. If they did sell this, is if you did put an entry and you did putting trailing stop later, right now this would be your stop loss, but wait till this came down a little bit more, then you could easily put a trailing stop. What that does, it maximizes your pips, locks in your profits. Exactly. And I talked about that at the beginning of the week, that a lot of people, what's it called? Be careful when you trade this week, especially because of Brexit. The thing is, if you did decide to do it, because I can't force you to do anything that you don't want to do, is I'll just make sure that you put a trailing stop. So that way you're always in profit. Now, the way you do trailing stop is simple. this is where your stop loss was, right? Once you saw this going in profit, you could draw this out on TradingView or even on MetaTrader on your phone and put a line there. You can see how many pips. Now, the pips, you're able to see on the fourth decimal, and you can see that this is 5 pips below the entry, which means it's in 5 pips profit. Now this could pretty much drop, and if you went to sleep or whatever, and it came back up, you'd have profits. Like I said, if it goes like 10 to 20 pips, I put a 1 and 2 pip stop profit. Once it starts going more, when I twin trade it, what that means is I put 2 orders in one location. Once one goes to 30 pips, I take 1 profit out, right? I close 1 order. And for the second order, I do a trailing stop. So it gets the greed effect out of the way. All right, a trailing stop means this is your stop loss and this is your entry. So your stop loss is your safety net or your risk management. But the moment if I saw this going in profit, I will change my stop loss to a trailing stop, which means that my stop loss is 5 pips below the entry, which if you sold it, that means your stop loss is pretty much a stop profit, which means that the market reversed, you maximized and collected the profit that was in between the entry and your trailing stop. Now we're going over technicals right now. And I'm going all over the place, but I just want to do this because I know people are looking at this and they're thinking about getting into the trade. Stop profit, trailing stop, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back. So we did support, we did resistance. Does everybody understand support and resistance so far? All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw zones so we can see how we combine them all together. We'll go to a different pair so you guys can see how crazy this is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the zones, and then you guys are going to trip out on how easy it was to trade off of these zones. So I'll draw it first, then I'll explain it. All right, cool. So you draw zones everywhere, right? That's the beauty of this whole thing. Jeez, I didn't mean for it to extend out that much. All those zones, because even if you just trade off zones, there's so much that could happen. All right, so these are like zones, right? These are areas where price struggled, where price tried to break, but guess what? It just got the heck away from it, right? So let's give an example. So if you drew a zone here and you waited and you saw that price was here, you would have collected a potential of 109 pips. If you drew a zone here, even if it tested here, you had the potential of what? 47 pips. You have the potential of 159 pips. If you drew a zone right here, you could have been bouncing back and forth. You could have sold it here, 94 pips. You saw that it broke through, but it came back and tested again, broke through, potential 89 pips back down. And then you could also had a potential of 273 pips. Now, the way that we're able to trade like that is for the pure fact of we back test. Now, the way you back test and draw these zones out is you take this little square, right? You take a little square, and we'll give an example. You see how price came down. And the easiest way for me to draw a zone is at first I draw axis of support. Or I could draw areas of acts of resistance. It allows me to really see areas where, price is, to see if price is going to respect at all. So that's just one confirmation. So imagine if I was in this area and I drew this act of resistance and I drew this act of support. It's very easy for me to draw a zone now because all I have to do is go from the wick to the body of the candle. Sorry. From the wick to the body of the candle. So from the wick to the body of the candle, do you think that it's a coincidence that price came in and touched it and then bounced? Do you think that was a coincidence? Then I go back over here. I was like, all right, well, if I saw that price was coming up, boom, it hit. Look at this line. Is there a zone here? Well, look at these areas where price struggled. You see all these wicks? So say, for instance, I pick this wick, come all the way to the wick to the body of the candles. You can see where price respected. You can see areas where you had double confirmations to enter trades. Now here's the thing. For some people, there's different ways of drawing zones. This is just what's worked for best for me because it allowed me to really see the charts for the way that it is. The reason why I chose from the wick really to the body of the candle, because what the wick was once a candle, which means that it came in there, but it didn't close as a candle. It came all the way back down and created a wick. That means price came into this area multiple times and struggled. What you want to do is look for struggle in price with a combination of support, resistance, and supply and demand zones. So that way you could be at the beginning of big movements. When there's big movements, that means there's more pips. With more pips, that means more money. If everyone is doing trading, making money, where does all the money come from? All right, so I'll give a little thing real quick. Watch. Here's the way it works. You got interbank markets. You have large commercial companies, you have governments, and you have central banks. You have spot markets, retail traders, and speculators. All these people are in the markets and pretty much create a market hierarchy. It means so that way they all fund and they all exchange currencies. That's how there's $5.3 trillion a day inside of it. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down pips real quick so you guys understand what pips are. Right. So check this out. So look at this right here. So if you saw that price was at 1.1205, then price went to 1.1206. That means it moved up 1 pip. If it moved up 1 pip, if you did a 10-cent trade or lot size, that's the equivalent of $1 in profit. If you did a standard lot, it's the equivalent of $10 in profit, right? If you did a 1 cent in profit, but that makes sense. Everyone will get that. Does this make sense? All right, so what's going to happen is the fact that the price moved up 278 pips, right? That means if you did a 10-cent trade, you would have made around $278. If you made a dollar or a standard lot trade, you would have made $2,783. Does that make sense? Yeah, everybody loses in trading, but the thing is about risk management. That's the whole point of stop losses. If you lose half of your trades, 5 out of 10, but your risk to reward ratio is amazing, because you're doing a 20 pip stop loss in every single one. But for the other trades, you're making around 200 to 300 pips, and there you go. So say, for instance, you lost 5 trades and you lost 20 pips on each one. You lost 100 pips. But the other 5 trades, you made anywhere from 100 to 200. So you made 1,000 pips. So no matter what, you're always in profit. No matter what, you're using the proper lot sizes, the proper risk management, and you'll be good to go from there. Don't worry. People will be able to come onto the IMO Academy and pretty much understand everything from what Forex is, to lot sizes, to margin, to leverage, to the brokers, to, you know, pending orders, all that type of stuff, pretty much everything. On a real account, how do I keep moving the risk management? I usually use my phone, but does that mean that I have to keep opening, closing trades, updating every time the values? No. So the way you do it is this. Give an example right here. That was a good question. We'll answer that question. So say this red line right here is your entry, right? And this is your stop loss, right? Hold on. So say your entry's at 1.1153 and your stop loss was 1.117, right? Let's put it a little bit tighter stop loss. All right, 1.1128, all right? So if this starts moving up in profit, you go to 1.1153 and say you want to do a 5 pip stop profit, which means if it reversed, no matter what, you gain 5 pips. Do 1.1153 and you see the 4th decimal, just add 5 pips. So then it's 1.1158. You type that into your stop loss, and then that's what it'll show. So 1.1153, you change your stop loss to 1.1158. This is what it will look like on your charts on MetaTrader. You just see that your stop loss is above the entry price. Does that make sense? Oh, another test. Let's see what's up. See what happens. It's a very big possibility on the fact that this, we'll see what happens inside this zone. And the way you do that is you have multiple lines of resistance. Now let's see and wait for it to respond to see what happens. All right. From the beginning of the week, I let everybody know that a lot of people aren't trading this because of Brexit, but I'm just like helping people out just in case that they are. So that way they could understand things like stop profits or trailing stops. So it's a lot easier for people to trade, right? So that's pretty much what I do for my entries. You know, I'll take a trade. Once one goes 30 pips in profit, I take that order out. What that does, it gets the greed effect out of the way. I change my other order from a stop loss to a trailing stop, aka stop profit. So now it maximizes. Now it's allows me to really maximize my profits. So that way, if it reverses, I'm not really losing anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back into zones real quick. So the way to really go back and really test things out is to have fun with these charts. Now, the best way for me to practice was I would do this. I'll look at areas where market reversed. Let's give an example. Market reversed here. Why? Was there an act of resistance? Yes, there was. Check. Then I'm like, all right, well, price moved up. Was there a zone? Yes. There's a zone right here. So that's why it happened. Price came up, it tested, all of a sudden it dropped. Now, say yesterday, I saw price was moving up. Is there an act of resistance? See these wicks? That means it's trying to break this certain area. Yes, there's support here once. Was there a zone? Let me check. Now, when you move this around these crosshairs, you see a vertical and horizontal line. I look to my left. Yes, there was a zone. I go from wick to body of that candle. Perfect. I could have entered there. I could have entered. I could have sold it. I could have made a potential of 108 pips. Why didn't you draw to the top of wick to the left? Remember, when you start drawing everything up, I could literally just play around and see how things are with different wicks to see if it's respected, the different candles. Yeah, respect. I could play around from the wicks right here. There's a wick right here, all right here. There you go. I mean, you have to just have fun with it and get to a point where you start seeing where market reverses, areas where market, you know, was strong in reversal, areas where market was having struggle in that area. I gotta have these zones already drawn out just to see exactly what is very possible to what is going on. I mean, I drew zone because I saw this wick here. I drew zone because of this wick here. I drew zone because of this wick here. I drew zone because of this wick here. But as you can see, price respected here. I drew because of this wick here, right? Price came in. Let's see what's up. If Euro USD continues to rise up, comes up here, well, guess what? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see what it's going to do in this area. All right. So the possibilities of this going up, now that I see that price is going up, I'm going to see what happens in this area. But what if price was going down? Then I'm going to see what's happening here. Now, Forex is all about responding, not reacting. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being patient. So if you're patient, you're seeing that price is moving up now, and I'm going to wait to see what's going to happen in this area for me to enter a trade. But if I see it coming down to this area, then I'm going to see what I could do to enter a trade. Either way, I'll be ready. I have it all drawn out. Because I have it drawn out, I'm able to wait for it and wait and wait and wait. And then it feels really good when you see that price is within this area inside your circle that you drew up, and you see that test in here. And because price continued to fail to break this point and you sold it and you make profits, it makes you feel really good on the fact that you're the one that drew it up. You're the one that was ready for it. Your technical analysis, your drawings, was 100% your fault for the reason why you're making pips by drawing stuff out. Okay. I hear enter trade, but how do you know which one you're doing? All right. So if it does come up here, I'll draw this out for people. Say, for instance, it did come up here to this area, right? You see that line? Say it did come up here and it started falling. You could sell it. But what if it comes up, right? I would wait for it to test this resistance that was once resistance. And if it respects, then I could buy it. But if it doesn't and it continues to break, then I could sell it. You have two options. What you have to do is watch what price does. If price double taps this area, like on the 15-minute, this act of resistance, that means it's a strong area of resistance or a ceiling. So it's easy to confirm a zone. It double tap twice, right? And it hit the ceiling. It allows you to sell it. Anyways, this moves all the way up, comes back down, respects the zone and this act of newfound support, then I could buy it. It's all about options and responding and literally being patient. The more that you rush things, the more you rush trades, the more that you realize you're going to start losing money. You can use Fibonacci's if you want. We're just not using at the moment. Yep, not using at the moment. You know what I'm saying? If you understand this just by drawing zones and support and resistance and able to make money from this itself, how would you feel as a person? Like you have the basics, right? Yo, a lot of these questions, like I understand, like I'm trying to answer as much questions as possible, but if we could make the questions relating to what we're teaching, it'd be a lot easier. what I'm saying? Does everyone understand what just happened here? What we're doing? If it did price come up and it bounced this way, you could sell it. If it moved up above and came back down and tested it, you could buy it. Does everybody understand that? Awesome. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see what price does right here, right? Say, for instance, this does come up. Let me give you guys options. Price hits here, right? And it starts falling. You can sell it, right? Price comes up here, starts falling. You can sell it. Do you know what I'm saying? You see how there's two different options right here? Or what if price does come up, breaks above, comes down to either one of these lines right here, let's just say in the middle or something like that. It's all about responding. That's the thing that people don't understand about Forex, is the fact that it's not enough confirmations. Yes, it will be. The reason being is, watch this. I'll give an example right now. Watch. Confirmations for a trade, right? Let's check it out. Let's see. Price came all the way down here. Boom, right? Let me look to my left. Is there a zone? You could use the active. Yes, there was. So now I could draw from this wick to this candle. If you want to shoot to the future, go to settings, click the second bar number, type in 1,000. It shoots it into the future. I could go back. Price perfectly came down here, hit support, and it also hit a zone. You're able to see that it made a boom, double bottom. Now, W's or double bottoms aren't always going to happen perfectly. It's not always going to look like this. Like, it's not going to ever, like, if Forex was this easy, guys, everybody would be rich. W's always aren't going to be perfect like this, or double bottoms, whatever you want to call it, whatever your terminology may be. It's not always going to be perfect, where it's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Do you guys see perfect stuff that happen in the markets? No. But as you can see here, price did come down. Let me delete this now. Looks ugly. Delete, 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 delete. As you can see, price did come down, came back up, and came down, meaning activating newfound support. Now what I could do is like, okay, so I saw it touch here. Let me look around. So boom, go back. Yes, right here was support. You had an area of support and a zone right here, right? You also had an area here. The way that you're able to test that was you're able to look, and even if you look at the lower time frames, like the 15-minute, you could go back and you could see it test. Then you could go back in time to see if it's also areas where price was respected before. Yo, I love you, man. Thanks for being the moderator. I appreciate the support, appreciate the help. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. GDN all the way, right? All right, so that's what I'm saying. It's not always going to be perfect, but what I want to show you guys is the best way to figure things out is to really go back into the time frames. And guess what? The more that you see, the more that you practice looking at areas where market reversed, you start to see the same patterns over and over again. It becomes redundant. It gets to the point where Forex becomes so easy that it's boring. It becomes boring because you just make money. Anyway, that's not really that boring. Never mind. Yeah, we do trade with the harmonic patterns. I was just waiting for the harmonic scanner to be updated. But yeah, combined with like literally using all this stuff here, like using everything in here, like freaking support, resistance, and the zones combined with the scanner is pretty much telling you when trades are being set up. But when you combine technical analysis of drawing everything up, it's pretty much giving you like, yo, get into the trade, but you get to get a better entry because you know how to draw everything up. You know what I mean? So say for instance, it's like all prices coming down here, and there was like a like a pattern here or something. I don't know, like on harmonics really. There's like a pattern right here, right? You see this. I don't know, maybe something. I don't know. I don't know how to draw harmonics, but you could see something. Like say, for instance, that there was like a pattern there, and you saw that it was hitting this area right here, and there's an entry area. But then you look to your left, and you drew this out, and you drew an act of resistance, and you drew a zone. And on the harmonic scanner, it was telling you to sell Euro USD. How many people in here would sell it? Exactly. It's screaming sell. Let's make some money and get some rest so we could just be able to travel, do whatever we want, be around the people that we love. You know what I'm saying? So, but as you can see here, Euro USD is in between pretty much like two zones. So why would I trade? I don't know what's going on right now. Like, why would I trade right now? Like, why would I force this? Why would I force this right now if I don't know what's going on? Like, do you guys know what's going on here right now? Do you guys know what it's gonna do? Yeah, it's just being weird. It doesn't look good at all, right? So with that being said, but what if it did come up here? Well, what if it came up to this zone right here? Would you guys feel more comfortable to sell it if it does test here? It makes you feel good inside because you're like, yo, like, oh my gosh, like it's hitting that zone. I drew that myself. Ha ha ha. Like I drew it myself. Right? It makes you feel better. The price comes down here, breaks through, touches here. Price is in this area. You're seeing it struggle here. You're seeing it start moving up. You take the trade, fearless. You got a stop loss. It starts moving all the way up. You twin trade it. You take your 30 pip profit off one, change your stop loss to a stop profit. Boom, you're a freaking boss. You're a boss because you're drawing this up yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that's getting ready for these trades. You're the one that's getting set up for everything. So there you go. Price isn't really showing too much right now at this current moment right here. Let's see if price respects and if it stays here at all. Right now it's not breaking, but it's not really showing me any confirmation that it's going to come up, because what happens if a candle just comes up here? But once you start seeing it drop here and breaking past this neck, I could be able to enter this trade easily, fluently. And the thing is, I was just head and shoulders. But you just gotta be patient for it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like right now, I wouldn't trade it. I'll just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. The same concepts in every single pair. So we'll give an example. Here's gold. I'm gonna draw one box that's gonna trip you guys out. You ready? Oh my gosh. How many options, how many times could you got into a trade off gold right there? Just from a box and a line. From a box and a line, how many times could you enter this trade? Get a bought it here. 127 pips. 356 pips. You see all this? It's not really going crazy too much. It's just breaking up into that zone. Hence the reason why I drew an act of resistance up here. This is a price reversal zone that it's in. So I'm trying to see and respond to what it's doing. Right now, I really couldn't. Hence the reason why we wait for a second retest. You see the beauty of a second retest of waiting for it? Look, what happens if you didn't wait for that second retest? It starts moving up. Then you start going negative, and then you're just like, oh, what's going on? You're saying like, it broke above resistance right there. Now we have, this is a 30-minute candle. I like using 30-minute candles as more confirmation, but we still do have around 24 minutes of this. So what if it does respect here, and then you start seeing a red candle close, and this just drops? Oh, that was the wrong one. You see about being patient? It's very possible this green candle could just go up all the way up. And then it tests up here. And then it could fall down. Just wait, be patient. The more patient that you are, you're allowing yourself to really see the cards. You're really allowing yourself to really see what's happening. I mean, right now, it's like, well, I don't really know what's going on. Well, guess what? You're looking at a 30-minute candle, and there's 23 minutes left of that candle. Why would you take any trade at all right now? If you just want to be patient and you just want to wait. And saying, I wait, I take my entries off the 30-minute because it skips past all the little tiny stuff that happens within the 1, 5, and 15-minute and goes straight to a 30-minute candle, right? Someone wants to see gold. I was trying to show you guys the concept on gold. If I drew one box and drew one active support, how many times could you have entered a trade here? I don't target 2 to 10 pips at all. No, I never said to target 2 to 10 pips. I was saying that if your trade goes 30 pips, you could take one order, take that profit. If you twin traded it, you could do a stop loss of 1 to 2 pips. You know what I'm saying? The way that I drew this zone, here, I'll draw it again. Watch. Price came down, reverse. What I'm going to do, draw an act of support right there. Then I'm going to take a box, go from the wick of that candle to the body of that candle. I'm going to shoot it out into future. Let's see what happens in the future. All of a sudden it's here. You see that there's a huge zone right here, and there's also a huge act of resistance right here. Support, 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 support. So by drawing a box and drawing a line, you could enter the trade there. You could enter the trade there. You definitely could enter the trades here. And you could enter the trade here. But then again, drawing a box and a line doesn't help with trading, huh? Oh, man. Zones from the wick to the body of the candle. From the wick to the body of the candle. Yes, I would like to see a double tap. You're going lower time frames for that. For some people, look, there's a W that everybody wants. There's a W that everybody wants. Look, there's the W that everybody wants. This is like a little mini head and shoulders, whatever. Look, a W that everybody wants. So sometimes the market does give you what you want, and it's very easy to enter these trades. Box line strategy. That's funny. But do you guys see how these zones are very easy to draw? You guys could enter. You know what I mean? Like that was pretty simple, right? I like to look at, I'm that nerd that likes to look at areas where price reversed. I like to go back in time to see if there ever once was an area where price struggled. So if price did struggle, I see at this line that there was a wick right here. I draw it, and I just like to test things out just to see if the zones are really real. Yes, the zones are really real. You know what I'm saying? Look, this extended all the way out. Look at this area of where the zone was. It extended all the way from the beginning of over there. You know what I'm saying? You can see pretty much areas where price respected. If you want to draw a zone here, like you get back test. Watch this right here, right? This is crazy. Let me draw this box. Look, I'm just picking random areas in the market, right? I know I'm going over like an hour long. Hopefully that you guys like this. You guys like everything that's going on so far? I was waiting for someone to be like, get off the live trade room. I was kidding. That's funny. All right, so let's do an example, right? I do this box, right? Let me push this out, type in 1,000. Let's see if price respected in certain areas. I could draw an active resistance right there. And yes, look, okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. Okay, cool. All right, now it's coming down to another zone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, zones are pretty fun. You know what I'm saying? You're able to draw it everywhere. You could pick random pairs. Let's pick, I'm just gonna do like a roulette type thing. Odd USD. All right, why did this drop? Why did this drop here, right? So this is what I do. Say for instance, you didn't see any of this stuff, right? New day opens up. I'm gonna show you guys a routine of how I get like, you know, pretty much like how I enter trades that made it easier. So say for instance, you only see that price. This is like price. I mean, the day just starts. Boom. You see price. You're like, all right, well, it's going up. It's going up. It's about to hit London session. I look to my left, right? Say this was going up. You didn't see any of this stuff right here. Pretend you didn't see any of this coming from, like that's all gone, right? But you see that price is moving up, right? Pretend you didn't see any of the stuff for the boxes. I hope that makes sense. Does it make sense that you don't see this? You only see like the green? All right, cool. Thank you. All right. I see that price is moving up. What I do to forecast, I look to my left. Oh my gosh. Is there a zone here? There is a zone there. All right. Is there active resistance there? Yeah, there is. What did I do? I saw that price is moving up. So I look to my left. Yeah, there's a zone there and resistance. Huh. I wonder what it's going to do. Oh, wait, it dropped 60 pips. Let's give another example, right? Let's give another example. Price started moving down, all the way down. And now say if I see this is moving down still, I look to my left. Is there anything here? No, but there's a zone over here. But at that time, pretend that you didn't see any of this. You saw that price is moving down. So what I'll do is like, all right, where's the closest zone? Well, there's an active resistance here, and there's a zone here. Let me draw this out and push it into the future. Now, let me see what's going to happen when price moves to that area. It made a freaking wick, came in perfectly. You could have got in right there. And the way, this is crazy, guys. This is a little bit more advanced, right? What I'll do is if I see stuff like that happening, and if I'm very confident in a zone like that, especially if it's dropping, it's very easy for me to put a buy limit there, a pending order. I'll give one little advanced thing. This is a buy limit. Watch. Say price is coming down, right? This is support. What I would do is an order, this is a buy limit. So what the buy limit means is a pending order that's above the current market price. But in order for this to take place, is market has to do this. Make sense? All right, that's a buy limit. Now let's do the exact same. So like price is moving down. A buy limit pending order means a pending order that's above the current market price. So the market price is currently right here because it's coming down. So you put a pending order here, which is a buy limit. You could have got a perfect entry, whatever. So what you could have done is just put one right here. You could have had a buy limit right there and just, then you'd be like, oh, I got wick entries. Yeah. All right. So you could also do the same thing when it comes to sell limits. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to show you guys all this in the IMO Academy. So you guys will understand all this stuff. Sell limit. Buy stop. Damn, I didn't mean to take that whole thing out. So what a buy stop is this simple. Watch. Let's just delete everything. Price is moving up. Buy stop. Moving up, that means it's continuing. It activates an order and you expect it to keep going up. Now, what do you think it is the opposite? Sell limit. Price is going down. You want it to activate on the way going down. I mean, sell stop. I'm sorry. All right. An example of a twin trade. You take your MetaTrader. You want to buy this. And then you go to like instant execution. And you press the instant execution twice. That's how you twin trade. Yeah, that means it's 2 orders. Twin trade pretty much means 2 orders. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could do it on your phone, but it's 2 orders. So that way, when one order goes to 30 pips, no ifs, ands, or buts. This is just my thing for me, so that way I could make sure that I am disciplined. I'm getting my profits in. Is when one order goes to 30 pips, I just take the profit on that, so I could get the greed effect out of the way. I change the other order to a trailing stop, and then I go to sleep. What's the worst that happened? I got 30 pips. I traded. I made it on a standard lot. I made $300, and I go to sleep. And then all of a sudden, I wake up, and I'm like, "Oh man, it hit my stop, but I made 2 pips, so I didn't risk any money." Or I wake up, I'm like, "Oh, cool, I did $1 lot. I'm up 114 pips. So I'm up $1,114. I just woke up to $1,000 in profit. Let me take my profit and continue my day." Like, how powerful is that? For sure. But yo, guys, that's pretty much it. I broke a lot of stuff down. Did everybody love it? Did everybody love it? Did everybody love it?